Our next story is from Pakistan. Earlier today, it announced a rather controversial decision, a decision to deport illegal Afghan immigrants. Pakistan wants them to go back, leave its soil by October end. The decision was announced earlier today by Pakistan's Interior Minister, Sarfaraz Bugti. Addressing a press conference, he said, and I quote, Afghan nationals would have to leave the country by the end of the month, whether voluntarily or through a forced deportation. If they do not go, then all the law enforcement agencies in the provinces or federal government will be utilized to deport them. Now that's an eviction notice. It's a strongly worded statement. The question is, how many Afghans will this decision impact? Well, last we checked, there are around 1.3 million Afghans who were registered as refugees in Pakistan. Another 880,000 have received the legal status to remain in Pakistan, and this is according to the United Nations. But Pakistan's Interior Minister says that there are another 1.7 million people, 1.7 million Afghans who are living in Pakistan illegally. He says all of them will have to go. The question is, what has triggered this statement? The growing terror attacks in Pakistan, the ongoing border dispute with the Taliban, the influx of Taliban fighters into the TTP? Well, Pakistan has refused to give an exact reason. But it doesn't take a genius to figure out what motivated Islamabad's decision. A concoction of all the questions that I just asked. If we speak of terror attacks, they've risen in number, colossally so. Reports say Pakistan saw a 79% increase in terror attacks this year when compared to 2022. As of today, there have been more than 271 terror attacks. They've claimed the lives of 389 people and injured 656 others. Of course, these attacks cannot be attributed to Afghan nationals, but most of them were orchestrated by the TTP, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, an offshoot of the Afghan Taliban which wants to enforce the Sharia law in the country. Reports say scores of Taliban fighters are slowly joining the TTP's ranks. Does this explain the spike in terror attacks? It seems so. Besides this, the situation at the Pakistan-Afghanistan border remains tense. In the last 10 months, there have been at least 4 major incidents when the Taliban has clashed with Pakistani troops. This has led to several border checkpoints getting shut, with Afghan nationals blaming Pakistan for upending their lives. My point is simple. There seems to be a growing anti-Pakistan sentiment within Afghanistan. The frequent clashes between the Taliban and Pakistan, the influx of Taliban fighters into the country, even Afghanistan's decision to ban the Pakistani rupee. They're all a testimony to this growing sentiment. But this cannot be the basis for Pakistan to deport Afghan refugees. At least that's what the Taliban is saying. It is calling Pakistan's decision unacceptable. Its spokesperson, Zabihullah Mujahid, has issued a statement. He has urged Pakistani authorities to revisit this policy. Allow me now to quote his exact words. The behavior of Pakistan against Afghan refugees is unacceptable. The Pakistani side should reconsider its plan. Afghan refugees are not involved in Pakistan's security problems. As long as they leave Pakistan voluntarily, that country should tolerate them. Now, last we checked, Pakistan's Foreign Office was yet to comment on the matter, but some Pakistani lawmakers and activists are voicing their opinions on the issue, and not in the kindest of words. For instance, this is what People's Party Senator Fatahullah Babar posted online. He says the decision is bound to end in a backlash. Allow me to quote, once again playing football with refugees, once again manipulating for some other objectives, once again angry knee-jerk reactions, doomed to end in a backlash. Tripartite agreement allows only voluntarily repatriation. The United Nations has also issued a statement. It says, we have seen disconcerting press reports about a plan to deport undocumented Afghans, and we are seeking clarity from our government partners. Any refugee return must be voluntary and without any pressure to ensure protection for those seeking safety. So now we've told you what's happening and you've seen the reactions. Let me now ask a question. Is this the end of Pakistan's dream, its dream of strategic depth against India? Its dream of using the Taliban as a proxy against India? I mean, 2 years back, when the Taliban returned to Kabul, Pakistan celebrated its return. It sang songs praising the Taliban. Many Pakistani even unfurled Taliban's flags. And 2 years on, the same Taliban is picking fights with Pakistan. The same Pakistan is asking Afghans to leave. How do we view this? Is Pakistan staring at an abyss of its own making? Is it struggling to deal with the monster that it created? It certainly is. On the other hand, you have India. Look how cordial India's ties with the Taliban are. India is sending tons of wheat to the Taliban. It is helping authorities rebuild the country. It is even training Taliban officials in diplomacy. No one could have seen this coming. A group fed and nurtured by the cantonments of Rawalpindi and Quetta. Being cordial with the country, the same cantonments wanted it to fight. It only proves that no matter which regime Pakistan installs in Afghanistan, Afghans are going to be Afghans. The only ones they listen to are themselves. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.